Okay, good morning, and welcome to Passion Week, day number 5. This is Good Friday. I want to encourage you today to spend this day in kind of a solemn manner. This is what I do every year because it gives me the opportunity to really think deeply about what Jesus did on that cross and what it cost him and what he went through. It helps me to identify with him and to understand the gravity of this day. We call it Good Friday because Jesus is good. He is a good God, and what he accomplished was very, very good. But there is a time for us to reflect deeply upon these very heavy matters of Jesus' crucifixion, his burial, and his death. And so as we go and read Matthew 27 today, I want to encourage you to follow along with me. And after this video, I encourage you, go back and read throughout the rest of the chapter as well, okay? So let's jump into our first passage. Matthew 27, verse 32 says, "And as they went out, they found a man of Cyrene, Simon by name. They compelled this man to carry his cross. And when they came to a place called Golgotha, which means place of a skull, they offered him wine to drink mixed with gall, but when he tasted it, he would not drink it. And when they had crucified him, they divided his garments among them by casting lots. Then they sat down and kept watch over him there. And over his head they put the charge against him, which read, 'This is Jesus, the King of the Jews.' Then 2 robbers were crucified with him, one on the right and one on the left. And those who passed by derided him, wagging their heads, and saying, 'You who would destroy the temple and rebuild it in 3 days, save yourself. If you are the Son of God, come down from the cross.'" Okay, and we're going to go ahead and move to our second passage. Matthew 27, verse 45. It says, "Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour Jesus cried out with a loud voice, saying, 'Eli, Eli, lema sabachthani,' that is, my God, why have you forsaken me?" And some of the bystanders hearing it said, "This man is calling Elijah." And one of them at once ran and took a sponge, filled it with sour wine, and put it on a reed and gave it to him to drink. But the others said, "Wait, let us see whether Elijah will come to save him." And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit. And behold, the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth shook and the rocks were split. The tombs also were opened, and many bodies of the saints who had fallen asleep were raised. And coming out of the tombs after his resurrection, they went into the holy city and appeared to many. And let's read our final passage for this morning. Matthew 27, verse 57 says, "When it was evening, there came a rich man from Arimathea named Joseph, who was also a disciple of Jesus. He went to Pilate and asked for the body of Jesus. Then Pilate ordered it to be given to him. And Joseph took the body and wrapped it in a clean linen shroud and laid it in his own new tomb, which he had cut in the rock. And he rolled a great stone to the entrance of the tomb and went away. Mary Magdalene and the other Mary were there, sitting opposite the tomb." I pray that you would this morning just work your way through those 3 passages right there, just to think about Jesus being crucified, his wrists being pierced, the crown of thorns being pressed into his skull, his back being ripped into shreds, having to carry his cross up the hill. What agony Jesus went through for you and I in his submission to the Father. I encourage you this morning and this day, spend time thinking deeply about this, reflect deeply and meditate deeply on these words. Because I believe if we can each do that, it's going to produce in us a deeper devotion for Jesus. Let's look at our 3 prayer topics for us today. The first topic is that I encourage you to pray for a broken heart over Jesus' crucifixion. The second topic, the conviction that your old self was crucified. And third, conviction of sin and repentance. That first prayer request, to pray for a broken heart over Jesus' crucifixion. Maybe you're someone who you have a hard time feeling solemn on this day, or feeling sad and sorrowful because you know that Sunday is coming and the resurrection is a reality for us right now. It's not as though every year we have to relive what has already taken place, right? My heart is just that we would be able to do both, have a solemn heart on Friday, and be able to, whenever we think of what Jesus did, his crucifixion and his journey to the cross, we would really have a deep, emotional, heartfelt response to that. And then on Sunday, we celebrate, and we're thankful, and we're grateful, and the work is completely finished on that day. And our second prayer request today is to have conviction that your old self was crucified. That is very much linked to what the resurrection is all about. But I encourage you today to think that on this very day, this Good Friday, around 3 p.m., Jesus yielded up his spirit. And because of that, my old self was also crucified. The old me was crucified on that cross with Jesus. And thirdly, a conviction of sin and repentance today. This is the time to really look at your life and see what is not in order, what you need to ask the Lord to reveal and expose in your heart, in your life, so that what is exposed, you would be able to turn from it completely and ask the Lord that he would help you to walk by the Spirit today. And so that's it for today. I really pray that this day would be a great blessing for you. It'd really be a day that is memorable for you, a day that in the middle of this quarantine would be so enriching and so powerful for you on this day. And so God bless you. I love you all. See you soon.